Good morning, everyone. My name is Karla, and you have reached my FlossTube channel, KarlaBeingCrafty, where I talk about mostly cross stitch, but also other crafts that I enjoy and a little bit of life thrown in. Today is FlossTube number 209, and it is Sunday, October 1st. So, yay, we are now officially in spoopy season. So all of the Halloween lovers out there, it's time to well past time, I guess, if you are any of the major retailers, to get out all of your Halloween decorations and start getting ready for all the ghosts and goblins. It is, I always give little Southern California weather report. It is cool today. It is like actually very gray outside right now. I don't know if it's gonna rain. I don't think it was forecast to rain, but I wouldn't be surprised if it started raining. And our weather is very low 70s, but it is going down lower at night. The bad news is that according to the weather report, it's supposed to get back up into the 90s this week, which I'm like, come on, we just got done with that. Let's stay out of that 90 range. I'd be happy to stay in the lower end of the 80s, but it is supposed to go up into the 90s this week and then come down a little bit again. But the good news of that is that it is staying cooler at night. So that overall helps with my apartment not being too hot and stuffy at night and being able to sleep and stuff like that. I am excited. I have a D&D game this afternoon. Well, not even this afternoon. I'm starting at 11 with my brother and nephew Logan, and I think we're getting a new player today, a friend that Logan made in their new place. So I think he's just trying it out, so I don't know if he's going to be a permanent new member, but maybe. So that's kind of exciting. So I made sure I got up nice and early today, and it's not even 9 o'clock yet, and I'm getting my video recorded, so hopefully YouTube will be kind and everything will be uploaded and ready to go before I even need to start getting ready for my D&D Zoom. We're supposed to be battling a lot of monsters today, I think, so I'm ready for that. And then next week, I will be getting together with Julie from Stitching at the Cabin. So that is something to look forward to all week. It's been about a month or so since we were able to get together, and that is always just so fun. You know, girl gossip time. I don't get enough of it. And, you know, with a stitcher, it just makes it that much better. Friend and stitcher, you know, that extra and stitcher it just makes everything great. So this was a very long work week for me. It doesn't seem like it would make that much difference, but we had a online, like a video conference on Tuesday and Wednesday for the half day until 1 o'clock. So I had to get to work like an hour early twice, which doesn't seem like that's a big deal, but oh my gosh, it just threw me off all week having to get up early. And so it was like a long and tiring week. But on the good news craft wise is I did have that sort of crafty, I don't know, crafty mojo, whatever, but you know, it was like when I'm really into stitching and stuff like that, I think about it during the day. I think in the morning, like, what do I want to stitch tonight? And when I'm not into it, it's like I'm very indecisive. But I had that crafty mojo interest back this week because I was doing these online conferences, which there wasn't any participation. It was basically just listening or listening. It's over the computer, live, but still kind of static. I actually pulled out my purse project and worked on that this week. So I do have stuff to show on that project, which I don't normally have. So I feel like I have a lot of stuff to show you this week and not a lot to talk about ahead of time. So let's just get into it. I also have a friend who's going to be in town starting next Thursday. So I haven't seen her in quite a long time. So hopefully we'll be able to get together for dinner on, I think Friday or Saturday is when we're going to get together. So it's going to have to be, unless we go during the week, because she's here from Thursday to Thursday. So Anyway, that'll be exciting and another thing to look forward to. All right, so let's get into it. I spent a lot of time this week actually crochet-wise working on my amigurumi Zero that I'm made, I should say, for my nephew Hudson for his birthday. Again, I don't think that he watches these videos. If you're watching, Hudson, which I don't think you are, and it's before your birthday, if you don't want your birthday present to be spoiled, then please stop watching and then you can watch after you get it. But I got that finished, and it's not 100% perfect, but I think I did a pretty good job. So Hudson, as I've said before, is very, very, very into Nightmare Before Christmas. He loves, this whole season. It's his birthday, it's Halloween, it's like all the cool things. He's always been the kind of kid that loves dressing up. I would not be surprised if he goes into the performing arts at some point in his life, because he's just that kind of an outgoing person. He loves costumes. Those have always been like one of his favorite toys. Like my sister-in-law has actually gone online or gone on like Facebook Marketplace and bought inexpensive like Halloween type costumes after Halloween, because he just likes dressing up like his favorite characters. He'll spend a day being Buzz or being Woody from Toy Story, or whatever, and they're homeschooled, so he can go to school as Buzz and be Buzz all day, and he's always like that. So but Nightmare Before Christmas is one of his favorites, and I did find this pattern, which I modified. So I made a Zero, which is Buzz's ghost dog. Jack Skellington's ghost dog. Let's not get our things twisted here. So I did make some changes. So the head and ears, I followed the pattern that I had. But I didn't like the way that the body was done, because the body was just like basically a circle, and that's not how Zero looks in any picture. Zero looks like, like he doesn't have a formed body, except that his ghosty bits kind of make it look like front legs and then going into his tail. So I decided to try and do that. Also, he's usually shown with his mouth open, so I kind of modified an ear and then added it as a mouth. And then because the body doesn't really have any structure, I kind of made a yarn ball, and attached it. And then I have these Kleenex boxes, so they're like meant to be used in the car or whatever. I use them at my desk and stuff. And so they're actually really nice boxes, and this little yarn ball fits right in there, and then he can kind of have it as a stand. So I think he turned out really cute. If I were to do it again, knowing what I know now, I probably would I feel like the head is a little bit too big, proportionately, the way Zero looks. I would have used bigger eyes. I think that bigger eyes would have been better, and the ears should be a little bit bigger, like longer. But I think overall I did a pretty good job. I crocheted like a white pipe cleaner into the edge here, so he does, he is formable a little bit. And then I kind of, I put kind of a running stitch of yarn into the tail so that it would curl a little bit better. And so that is my Zero. So, I mean, again, he's not perfect. I realize that. Hopefully, Hudson will like him. I mean, I think he's cute. And again, not perfect, but I am still learning crochet, and the thought is there. I don't know how much the thought means to a 9-year-old, but he has several like really large Jack Skellington dolls, so I think scale-wise this will work well with the Jack Skellington dolls he has. He does like to play with toys still. He's very creative and can make up stories in his head and uses his toys and dolls and stuff to do that. So hopefully he likes the Zero. Now I just have to figure out a way to get it mailed to him. His birthday is the 8th. And so yeah, so that was my crochet this week. And as I said, the little ball kind of fits in, and then this can actually be a stand. So he is a little out of proportion, but I still think he's cute. So, okay, so that's 0. That was my crocheting this week, which actually was several days to work on that and get it done. Because I was determined to get it done by yesterday so that I can take it to work tomorrow and figure out a way to package it up and mail it. Okay, so not only do I have a crochet finish to show you this week, but I have a cross stitch finish too. Yay! And I finished my Black Cat birthday style Black Cat bag. So yeah, this is my last Target stitchable bag. I mean, it's not meant to be stitchable, but it's this sort of perforated faux leather, faux, I don't know, plastic probably. That again, these bags were like all the rage in 2019, spring, like summer of 2019, which is when pretty much I started stitching and started my channel. And these came out at Target, like they were in the dollar spot, and everybody was like going crazy over them. And I was a baby stitcher. I had no idea what you would even do with these things really, but I jumped on the bandwagon because I had incredible FOMO, and I went to the local Target to me, and I got 3 of them. I wish I got more now because, you know, hindsight's 2020. But I got 3. I got a black and a tan and the blue. And over the last 4 years, I have done the other 2 and ended up giving them both away. And then finally this last one, I was like, no, this last one has to be for me, even though it was like my least favorite color of bag and whatever. But, you know, I did put a black cat on it, which, you know, that's totally me. And I don't know what I'm going to use this for. I might actually use it for crochet. But I think it turned out pretty good. Again, hindsight 2020. I probably, if I were to do it again, I would adjust the colors a little bit because I feel like the black and the dark gray are a little bit too close, and it's kind of a little bit hard to see the dimensions of the face. But it totally doesn't matter because it's those eyes that stand out. And in any case, I like it. I'm happy. I'm glad it's done. And I can move on to other projects. So that is done. And I have like one stitch in here that's a little bit loose, and it's drying my eye. Okay, so that was my finishes. But I have actually several whips to show you. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more whips. So I did actually get a lot of stuff done this week. So, okay, let's get started. I worked on Prickly Owl this week, which is a little dimensions kit, not a gold kit, just a regular dimensions kit. And I feel like I call this like my friend project because the pattern was given to me by my friend Dawn Frisch when I visited Arizona. And she was like the first like FlossTube person or FlossTube subscriber that I met, and she gave me this as a remembrance, which I've held on to for a couple years. And then this year, Julie's stitching at the cabin. You guys know that we are good friends. She showed it on her channel, and I was like, hey, I have that, let's sell it. So we did. And of course I changed the fabric because I don't usually work on kit white or cream Aida. I do work on kit Aida, I just don't work on white or cream. I usually take it out, dye it, use it in another project. So this was actually kit Aida from another project that was blue, started out blue, and then I dyed it with a little bit of turquoise to get some modeling. And I worked on the owl specifically this week and got a lot. Actually, I got him finished as far as the stitching. His back stitching isn't done, but the stitching on the owl is done. So I have to back stitch all of this, finish obviously the back stitch on the owl, and then there's this small cactus and then the big cactus with the big flower. Hi, Baggy. You guys hear him? He's talking. He's talking. Why don't you go lay down? Silly, silly kitty. That's an oxymoron, right? Of course he's silly because he is a kitty. Okay. Next, I worked on Ashes, which is a Mill Hill, what do they call them? The Mill Hill Alley Cats. There are 4 in this series. I've done 1. I've done Cole, and he's on the shelf right there. Now, I've been saying in my videos since I've started working on Ashes that I'm going to move them over to this cabinet in my kitchen. And I realized when I started doing my counter cooking videos, that is a terrible place. I am not moving them there, because when I use my Instant Pot and I have to release it, quick release, if there's steam, it goes like right there. So I'm not putting cross stitch right where it's going to get steam all over it every time I use my Instant Pot. So I'm going to have to find a different place for these that would work to hang them all together. But anyway, I did work on Ashes this week, and I got the second corner finished, this one, well, except for the beading, obviously, and then I did some more on the cat's body. Now, the one thing I have to say that disappoints me a teeny bit with these is that the color in the photo of the green, I like much better than the color of the actual fabric. This just is a little bit more appley, and then this in real life is just a little bit more like yellow green. I mean, that doesn't look like a huge difference, but I just was not as happy with the way the color of this fabric is out of the package. But I mean, it's fine. They match. So there's 2 orange and 2 green in the set. Okay. All right. Let me show you the first project that I worked on, which is sort of my Moon Fairy. This is a second or a companion piece to this Moon Fairy that I did like 2 years ago. I think I finished it at the end. I think I finished it in 2020, and then I didn't do anything. No. I finished it in 2021, and then I didn't do anything in 2022 with the companion piece, but I finally decided to start it. So this is the one that I finished, and then this is the one that's going to be the companion. And I used in this one, I used kind of like the sparkly, I added blending filament to the wings, and I thought I would add the blending filament to the wings on this one as well, but then I started thinking about it, and I think instead of putting blending filament in the wings, I think I'm going to put blending filament in the star. Partly because these wings are less like defined on where the wing is and where the arm is, and I think that would be a little bit hard to figure out. But I think it would look cool as an accent on the star. Anyway. So that's how far I got, which doesn't look like much, but this is 22 count hardanger, and so it's a lot of stitches. So I filled in up here, and then I pulled this over, and this whole part is new, basically. I was gonna say, like, when I'm stitching this seems like really skinny, but looking at this one, they're pretty much the same. So I think they're gonna look good together. Okay. I worked on my mini flower kitty this week, which is a full coverage. The artist is Jeremiah Kentner. It's started by Heaven and Earth Designs, and I'm doing it on 28 count, 2/1 tent. And I finished a diagonal. So I think I'd have to do about half of it this week. I'm getting into a little bit of green there, which is kind of cool. I don't think the next diagonal I'm going to hit the kitty ear yet. Not quite. But I'm getting closer and closer. Closer and closer to that kitty ear. I love working on this one, but I have to say this is so full of confetti. I mean, it's mini and everything, but mini means more confetti. So this one takes me, I'm very slow working on this just because there's so many colors, and yeah, and just the confetti of it is crazy. But I mean, the results make me really happy. So okay. Okay, I worked on Sweet Pea Fairy this week, which is my Joan Elliott, and I had a couple people like comment on Joan Elliott, and like they bought this pattern or they have a Joan Elliott they haven't started yet. I really am enjoying working on this. There's just, I mean, there's something about, well, first of all, this pattern I really, really love. I'm glad that she's the first one I started with, because I just love her. But I am enjoying the Joan Elliott, so that's definitely, I have three more Joan Elliott's actually that I have purchased. So I have Joan Elliott's to keep me going for several years. I don't know what the next one will be. I thought I was going to do Poppy Fairy this year, start Poppy Fairy, which I did not. So probably I will either start Poppy Fairy next, or I will start the Forest Goddess, which is the one with the mushrooms all around her. I think eventually I'm going to be stitching that with Kelly from Pages and Stitches, because she has her too. And so maybe we'll start her next year together. I don't know. Okay, I actually finished, you know, aside from beading and there's vines and stuff, but I finished the 2 colors of the hair this week. She just is so like serene and at peace with the flowers and the world, and I just love her. And she's fun to stitch. I am doing the skin on her 2/1 tent, and so that is a bit of a challenge. I mean, I'm done with the majority of it with the body or the chest and head and neck and stuff, but I still gotta do her arms. And are her legs exposed? Yep, her legs are exposed too. So I got a lot more of the 2/1 tent on 32 count ahead of me on this one. Okay, and then last but not least, I kind of like jumped into October a couple days early because I was watching, again, Julie Stitching the Cabins video that came out this week, and she shows, I don't know if it was finished, if it was a finished project or an in progress project, but she shows other people's work, both finishes and in progress, and she showed somebody who was working on, or finished, I can't remember, London Places All Hallows Eve, and she said that she started because she saw mine. And then Julie was like, oh, I think, did Karla finish that? No, Karla did not finish that. Karla's been working on this for 4 years, and every year I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get it done this year, and then I work on it in October, and I'm like, you know, I'm putting it away until next October. So maybe I'll get it finished this year, but you know, there's no guarantees with that kind of thing because I'm very mercurial, and I'm not sure that I'm like feeling like I have to get this done yet. So this is London Places All Hallows Eve, and I started this very, very early in my stitching journey. So I kind of use this as like a test stitch for all of these like fibers that I'd never used before, and now I've used most of them, but this was very much a, you know, let's try stuff out kind of thing. So like the colors don't necessarily match, and like, or they don't necessarily follow. So yes, I was changing colors and doing my own thing from the very beginning. But some of the things I tried, I used glow in the dark thread for the first time, which is in the moon, and I think I'm gonna use the glow in the dark for the skeleton. I have blending filament in this, which I put in the ghost. I have satin floss in the snake, and I will have satin floss also in the little vampire's cape. I used Whisper fuzzy floss in the werewolf, which I did not use very correctly when I first did that, so I did learn from that one. I think in future when I use Whisper, I will only use one leg, the top leg of Whisper, and the other leg not Whisper, which is not how I normally stitch, but I think that is a smart thing to do with Whisper, because my Whisper on this got very matted, which I guess is fine for a werewolf, but I did learn using that. Let's see, what else did I use for the first time? I think nothing else is jumping out at me. Oh, and I also went kind of crazy with the fabric color. I'm using a Picture This Plus Aida in Jewel, which was my first experience with Picture This Plus Aida. Learned what everybody was talking about. It's so soft, which people say it's so soft, like it's a good thing. And it does feel really nice, but it is very loosey-goosey to stitch on. And honestly, it's not my favorite Aida to stitch on because it's just so, it's so soft that it doesn't, your stitches doesn't hold the stitches nicely. But anyway, that is where I am. I worked on my ghoul this week. I gave him some pants because he didn't have pants when I put him away last time. And he needs one more hand, as you can see down here. And he doesn't have his hand, and then he needs back stitching, and then he will be done. So I have the, oh, you can't see it. I have skeleton left, the vampire, the pumpkins, and the vulture, and words, obviously, and then the 5 stars, which I showed you guys when I was going back through like some of the stuff that I had given to my mom, and then I got them back after she passed away. I have 5 of these wire stars, and I think that they're actually going to work really well. I'm going to make them fit because I think that they're really pretty, and they're very different. And yeah, and I like them, and I like the idea that they're going to remind me that these were things I gave my mom when she was all into like making necklaces and stuff, and then got them back from her. So it brings a little bit of my mom into it. So yeah, so that's where I am on this. And seeing somebody else work on it or somebody else's version, of course, made me want to pull mine out. But really like this. So that is Blend in Places All Hallows Eve. And as I said, I've been working on this. It's probably one of my oldest projects. So maybe I'll get it done this year. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in the coming month. Like, if I'm obsessed with it and I work on it a lot in October, then, and I get it really close, then maybe, yeah. And is that it? I think that's it. That's it for my stitching this week, which is not too shabby. I mean, if I do say so myself, I think I did pretty good. So, I don't have any haul or anything like that to show you. Plans for October. My October theme is fairies and festivals, which basically means Halloween stuff and then all of my fairy projects. So I'm going to be working on, and then also the pumpkin trio, which I'm going to be starting for Laura, Stitching at the Shores birthday sal, which is this little guy. So cute. So that and All Hallows Eve, and then I'm gonna work on Black Pearl. Really, oh, come on. I didn't want everything to come out. So I'm gonna be working on Black Pearl. She doesn't totally fit. She's, you know, a mermaid isn't a fairy, but but I don't usually work on mermaids except for in the summer, but I really want to get her finished. So I'm going to work towards a finish on her. And of course, if I don't get her finished, then she'll go into the November, December push, but yeah. So Black Pearl, and then I've got Let Sleeping Dragons Lie, which is my fairy and dragon. Zinnia, which is my next Bewitching Pixie. Did you guys notice like 2 episodes ago that this was missing? I didn't notice until I was watching my video back, and I'm like, wait a minute, where's my second Bewitching Pixie? And then I remembered like the night before I had heard kind of like a crash in the middle of the night and ignored it because, you know. So yeah, that fell down. I don't know, maybe like when I was getting my light fixed, I didn't notice the guys hitting it with like a ladder, but maybe they did and kind of knocked it loose. But you know, the little 3M hooks came off too and went scattering, so I don't know where they are again. So I just rolled it up because I don't want to get up on a ladder right now. And eventually it'll get back up there. You know, the first one, she's doing fine. She's never fallen down. So I don't know. I don't know if the other one's just too heavy. I don't know what the deal is. But, I mean, it's safe. It's just, it fell down. But anyway, I'm going to be working on Zinnia again this month. I've got my Autumn Equinox Pixie and Bellatrix and Sweet Pubic Fairy. So those are all the things I'm going to be working on. And yeah, other than that, and then I would like to try and get some little golden book work done. I didn't do it this weekend because I was really pushing to get 0 done. But maybe next Saturday I'll be able to get a good chunk in on that. I've had a couple people who are, you know, the book winners from last year who are like, don't worry about it. You know, there's no rush and everything. And that is so kind of you to be like, don't worry, we'll get it when we get it. I know, but I would like to try and meet the deadline that I gave myself of the year. I only have to do 9 books, right? There's 9 people that are expecting them. And I have 20 books that I have on the go. So obviously those other 11 don't have to be done this year. 2 of them, actually 3 of them are for friends. So I still would like to get those done. And then the other ones, actually, I would like to get those done because it would be very helpful if I could possibly sell them. As you guys know, I am struggling financially a little bit right now. So if you want to give me a tip, I do have a super thanks button below. I don't think I even said welcome to anybody in this video. Oh wow. I am, yeah, 35 minutes in and I'm almost ready to close, so welcome. Anyway, but yeah, if you want to give a super thanks, it is below, or you can also send tips through PayPal. But anyway, because it would be nice to use my talent, skill, whatever you want to call it, my dabblings, to bring in a little bit of extra income. So anyway, you know, I'll do what I can do as far as getting the golden books done. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to impart, any wisdom. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I feel like I'm forgetting, like I was supposed to mention somebody or something, or say thank you to somebody. Somebody did give me a super thanks and I did not say thank you, and I'm sorry. I will look it up and then we'll try and remember to do it next time. That is terrible. But thank you so much for the super thanks. It is so kind when somebody does do that. I realize how hard it is and how tight things are for everybody, but it is really heartwarming when somebody goes out of their way to send me even a note, but a gift or super thanks, or, you know, monetary things, or even sending me gifts or whatever. I mean, it's just, it is so heartwarming when you guys do that. So thank you so much. Okay, I do think that that's it. I thought that this was going to be a longer video today because I had so much to show you, but I guess I have less like jibber jabber today, so it's more stuck in on the crafts, which, I mean, I know a lot of people like that. But that's good, because hopefully I can upload fast and you guys can be watching this video early, and then I can go off and do my D&D adventure and fight all those monsters. I have to look at my spell sheet and make sure that I'm prepared. So every time I've ever played D&D my whole life, I've always been a spellcaster. Usually like a wizard or something like that. This time I am a cleric, which happened because I took over a character that my brother had created. So it's kind of a weird character. In fact, he said when he created it, sorry for the D&D digression here. I know I just lost a bunch of you, but some of you like it. So, but he said when he created the character, he thought it'd be a really interesting character, but not one that necessarily he would have ever given anybody, or that he would have ever recommended a real person play, because my character's a cleric, which usually there's a cleric in each party because that's the person who can do the healing, right? So I can do healing, but the way he set up the character, each character has like a cleric has a god or goddess that they follow, which gives you different abilities and stuff like that. Well, the character, the character, or the deity that he set this character up to follow is a goddess of, I think the goddess of death or something like that. So although I can heal, a lot of clerics don't have to like use healings, or they don't have to put healing spells on their list because they can naturally do healing spells, and so you can substitute healing spells. But my character can't substitute healing spells. She can substitute harm spells because it's like opposite, which is cool. You know, I have like control over undead. I'm not an evil character. I'm a lawful neutral character, but so I'm not evil, but I still have control over like undead whatever things. I just, my spells go towards that side. So it's funny that, you know, I have to actually put healing spells on my list, or have I have a lot of like healing spell, like wands and stuff like that, so that I don't have to use up all of my spell spaces with healing spells. But I have to have healing spells because that's part of the point of having a cleric in your party. They have to be able to heal. But I just think it's funny. Now, the nice thing is because I have these harm spells instead, when we get into battle, sometimes that becomes helpful. So, anyway, my brother hinted at the fact that we might be having a rather epic battle today. So, which is fun. I like doing all the adventuring is fun. My favorite parts of the game are when we're adventuring and there's puzzles, but those are really hard for like the Dungeon Master or the DM to create. So they're not like every single time we don't have like these really intricate like sort of puzzles to do, but that's my favorite part. But then my nephew loves the battles, and I like doing the spell casting. I like it when we can be tricky and, you know, and think of solutions. That's like the best part. Just trudging through dungeons or whatever and opening doors and looking, that's not as fun, but the active stuff is fun. And we don't get up and like act it out and stuff like that. We never have, but it's fun. It's all up in here, right? Anyway, well, I'm looking forward to seeing them today. And I had some fun on a audio call and then playing on Board Game Arena with my other friends yesterday. So anyway, that is what the rest of my day entails. I also have a little bit of a scratchy throat. I hope I'm not getting a cold. I think it's the change in the weather. I think it's allergies, to be quite honest. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to play D&D sitting up here or I'm going to stretch out and get comfortable on my bed. I think I'm opting to the more comfortable method. But I think I'm going to let you guys go here because now I am totally rambling. And I hope that until I see you again, you have a great week. I did put up a counter cooking video last Wednesday, which was, I think that was my tuna and rice, and it turned out really good. And I think I'm going to be making my split pea soup. I'm going to make some for dinner tonight and film that. So keep a lookout for that video. I also made a cake yesterday, like a snack cake, which I didn't film because I never made it before, so I wanted to wait until I had a chance to try it before I filmed, and it turned out really good. So I will make that again, probably next week. It's pumpkin snack cake because it's pumpkin season. You gotta have that. But it turned out really good. Not super sweet and just really, really tasty and good for dessert or breakfast. I had it for breakfast this morning. I put a lot of nuts on the top. It was really good. So I'm going to definitely film that as well, coming up. So thank you for those of you who watch my videos, who support me. Thank you for watching my other counter cooking videos. I'm enjoying doing those. And until I see you again, please remember to be content, be kind, and be crafty. This is Karla. Bye-bye.